Chances are the best thing for you to do today to make the most money is something that didn't even exist 3 to 4 years ago. And I would know this better than anyone because I went from making minimum wage to making 6 figures in only 6 months because I committed to getting good at one particular skill. And I think that's actually the most difficult part of this whole process because there are more good ways to make money nowadays than ever before. And I think that most people on this path never commit enough to one method or one new skill enough to see results. And that's why I don't usually recommend any specific skills to people on this channel, because the reality is that the best one for you is going to be the one that you can commit to learning for the long haul. But with that being said, first of all, I think it's really important to be open to new ways of making money and helping people. I think that most people would agree that the economy has changed a lot over the past 2 to 3 years, but at the same time, it hasn't occurred to most people that the way they should make money might have changed also. And more specifically, I think that you should be open to the idea of not having a 9-to-5 job. Sure, 9-to-5 jobs are great, especially nowadays, but it's actually become really hard to get a new 9-to-5 job if you don't have one already. And I know this firsthand as I was laid off from my most recent full-time job last year, and I spent a few months unsuccessfully trying to find a new full-time job. But instead of spending all my time just looking for a new full-time job, I started to apply to contract gigs on a website called Upwork, which is now where I happen to be receiving more income than I did from my full-time job. And my point is not that you should quit your job and start contracting, but that you should be open to new ways of making money, especially with all the change in technology over the last 3 years. So now let's say that you are open to changing your career. Well, now what? How do you know what you should do from here? Well, I can't give you specific instructions on what you should do, but for me, I started to rank the opportunities that I saw in order of how helpful they would make me to other people. In other words, what particular projects and tasks would I be slightly better at than most other people? I thought a lot about this while I was watching YouTube videos on different careers and skills. Now for me, this is something that came naturally because even as a kid, I was really interested in different careers and I couldn't wait to turn 16 so I could get a job and start working. But for you, I would encourage you to keep looking until you find a skill that you think you can be better at than most people, and one that you can commit to keep getting better at for as long as possible. For me, this turned out to be data engineering and analytics, which I realize doesn't sound interesting to most people. But I think it's an interesting blend of problem solving, computer programming, and working with a variety of different businesses. So around 3 years ago, I fully committed to becoming a data engineer, and I will be content to stay in the data analytics field for a very long time after today. And working with data is obviously a good way to make money, but for a lot of you, I'm sure you have hobbies or skills that you are not sure whether they are something that other people want to pay for or not. And one hack that I would give you that is helpful to find out whether a particular skill is something that people want to pay for is to check freelance sites like Upwork, because people will post a lot of jobs there and you can see if your particular skill is something that other people are continually paying money for or not. And maybe you already have some good professional skills, and in that case, you might be able to start immediately making more money by offering your skills to other people. But in my case, I had to take a few months of intense study and practice before I made a single dollar from my new data analytics skills. So that's what I think most people should do now, is be open to new ways of making money, find a skill that they can commit to and be better at than most people, and commit to becoming better and better at it. And one other tip to help with transitional periods like this in your life is to lower your expenses, as that will greatly lower your stress when you're making big life changes like this. And I have other videos on this topic, but the gist of them is that you should start with your bigger expenses like housing and transportation first before you spend your effort clipping coupons and canceling all of your streaming subscriptions. But anyway, thank you for being the 1% and making it to this far in the video. If you enjoyed some of these ideas that I shared, please make sure to check out my other videos where I share more about my journey in making more money, saving time, and growing in my career.